Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, the Fantastic Four trailer came out, and I didn't react to it because I didn't, necessarily, I didn't do it because it falls into the whole thing of me not doing the most anticipated movie for this year. Because even though I'm excited for Fantastic Four, I'm not really sold on it. Because we've had fun. We've had two fun Fantastic Four movies, but not Fantastic Four movies. We've had, I haven't seen it, but one terrible one. And this one is like, I know, the VFX look great. I love the Michael Giacchino score. Michael Giacchino is the GOAT when it comes to this. And the fact that the director is the same director who did WandaVision is fantastic. I love WandaVision. It's my favorite MCU show. I wasn't too sold on the cast. Because the cast, I don't know. Because out of all the reports that came out, right? Before the reports came out, I wanted John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. After we got John Krasinski, I was like, okay, that's probably not going to happen again. It didn't. But there were talks of Adam Driver and Margot Robbie being Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Those were the two people that I wanted to get the role. Because I was like, Margot Robbie is probably not going to return back as Harley. I want her to, but I don't think that she will. So the MCU will be a great place for her. And Adam Driver, I think, needs a bit of redemption after the Star Wars sequel, so like, yes, get him. But when they announced Pedro Pascal, it's like, it sounded like a bit of a cheap move, because he's already the Mandalorian and he's so popular in like in general, because he's like part of The Last of Us and all these different things. So it just seems like a very like, oh, we need to get someone that's popular. Throw Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. And Vanessa Kirby kind of was a bit of a safe option for Sue. I didn't know. I haven't watched The Bear, so I haven't seen the guy that plays Sting in anything. Joseph Quinn, I thought, was also a safe option too. Because when I look at that cast, I'm like, this is the safest you could ever get with a cast. Which is why I'm kind of leaning more towards like Robert Downey Jr. as a good casting choice for Doctor Doom, because I'm looking at that casting as like, okay, that's going to be an interesting story, because all the Avengers are going to think that that's Tony, but really when it's not, and he's going to fool all the Avengers. And like, even though that we know that, it's going to fool the Avengers in that movie. As especially going to be a great storyline for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which apparently is going to be a main player in Doomsday and Secret Wars. So I was like, yes, I would definitely, that's definitely a good choice, because I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but also because that I think that there's some good opportunities with that. This seemed like a very safe thing. And watching the trailer, I'm like, okay, I love seeing the Fantastic Car Day, something that we haven't seen in live action yet. I love seeing the Baxter Building, even though I would have preferred the Fantastic Four to kind of already exist in the MCU. So then because I think that doing the whole, like what they're doing in Thunderbolts with the Dark Avengers, which is what I think that they'll turn out, which is what people will think it will turn out being, is the Dark Avengers. I didn't want the Dark Avengers to have the Avengers Tower. I wanted the Fantastic Four because I thought that would be a good tie-in. But I honestly think that there were other ways that you could introduce the Fantastic Four. Like, I'm fine with them coming from another universe. It was more when I was like, it's more when they were like, oh, we're going to take, this movie's going to take place in the 60s. It's like, you don't need a 60s Fantastic Four. Just because they existed in the 60s does not mean that you need a 60s Fantastic Four. I was mainly not sold on the cast, because seeing Galactus at the end, I was like, oh my god, yes. As opposed to having Galactus as a cloud, that is very cool to see, having to see Galactus and all that. And the fact that this might even be Robert Downey Jr.'s first entry into the MCU as Doctor Doom, they need this. I will say this. I'm looking forward to this movie only because that this movie needs to be the most important MCU movie in the multiverse saga. Other than Deadpool, Wolverine, No Way Home, and even Multiverse of Madness to an extent. You need to set up the multiverse and its villain. The fact that you have casted Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, you need him in a movie before Doomsday. You need at least like a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing where like he's in it, but he's not a opposing threat. You need that type of thing where it's like, even if it's this movie where it's like you have the main villain where like Ronan was the main villain of Guardians 1, but Galactus is the main villain of this movie, and then the villain that is there kind of for setup reasons, kind of like Thanos was, where you occasionally cut to Thanos and what he's up to. That needs to be Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. That needs to be him, because Doctor Doom is such a Fantastic Four villain. Even though that he's a villain to the whole Marvel Universe, he is integral to Reed Richards. And those, even though that I like those two Chris Evans and Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movies, they do get a lot of things wrong, but here's the thing. At least they got the Reed Richards and the Victor Von Doom relationship, because I think that is great in those movies. But no, I think that it's going to be a good movie. I don't think it's going to be a great movie. I don't necessarily expect this to be a great movie, because from everyone's point of view, is that we've gone bullcrap from the Fantastic Four for the past decade. So, because after 2015, the Fantastic Four has been dead. So even though I hope that this one brings them back, I don't expect this to be the best Fantastic Four, or let alone the best MCU movie ever. But I am looking forward to this movie. I think that there are just some things that I'm just like, especially the cast. If the cast was better, the only reason why they picked Joseph Quinn is because that everyone that got excited for Joseph Quinn as Human Torch are only Stranger Things fans. No one in the world goes, yeah, Joseph Quinn's Human Torch because I haven't watched Stranger Things. Only the diehard Stranger Things people know that Joseph Quinn can do a good job. And I haven't seen Stranger Things, but just because he was in 2 or so episodes of Stranger Things does not mean that he can... And even though he was good in those 2 episodes, does not mean that he can be in... he can be in a Marvel movie, but does not mean that he can play a great Human Torch. Because we didn't get a lot of him in this trailer. This was a teaser. I like the Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby relationship. I really like the fact that the thing is practical, even though that it's a CG eyes and lips. I love how it's practical and it's a suit much like the original movies that Michael Chiklis wore as the thing. I love how they did that. But I am not sold on Joseph Quinn. Like, I was rooting for Zac Efron because I think that Zac Efron can play that kind of guy, because if you guys watch Baywatch, I don't think that that's a great movie, but it's an entertaining movie for me. But if you look at Baywatch, that is it kind of what I kind of expect. Matt Brody is kind of what I expect Human Torch. That's kind of what I would think when I think Zac Efron can play Human Torch, but a bit more of a, because he's a tight ass and he quips, even though he doesn't really understand shit. I can totally see him playing that. So, yeah guys, so that's my thoughts on the Fantastic Four trailer. I know that I'm not flipping out like everyone else going like, oh my god, it's fantastic. Fantastic Four. Yeah, I'm just not sold on this, to be honest. Honestly, I've kind of given up on the Fantastic Four. Like, I got excited when they first announced it, when they did the whole Marvel movies, Back to the Movies thing back in 2021 or 2020. Or something like that. I forgot when it was, but and that was before everything got pushed and rescheduled and stuff. We've basically waited almost 5 years for this movie to come out. It should have come a lot sooner. And I'm not necessarily I don't necessarily have any hope for the Fantastic Four movies. For this one anyway. So yeah, guys, that's my thought. Please hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, subscribe us at the little bell icon to get enough future videos I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.